Part 3. Citizens who are not part of America but claim to be Americans. There's a very big distinction about what an American is, and I believe I'm covering it as well as I can. I have seen on TV, just again recently, right after the first gathering of Americans out on the Washington Monument Mall area, on the steps, Abraham Lincoln, great man he was, great man. There was about 50 to 80,000 people. They gathered. But what I noticed is they really were not what I would call gathered together as a nice group of people. But they kind of wandered around a lot like as personal individuals. They had large signs proclaiming what they want, what they demand, and they redemand and demand. And it was a rally that was supposed to be, how would you call it, gathering their troops together to form a wall of resistance as to the government of the people by the people. And they consider them part of that people, but you have to remember their appearance and what they did and how they worked their demands and everything, and the signs were just ridiculous. I mean, everything known to man. I even saw people wore a lot of flags. Flags flying all over. Somewhere even I saw, my God, someone was upside down, and that's a sign of distress. Now, I'm not sure who was distressed, but it was probably because they had no clue as to the etiquette of where and how you fly the American flag. And it's very possible that they were not educated knowing that, but I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that. When you carry the American flag, you have to understand everything about it. When you carry yourself in public, you have to understand who you are and what you represent. That's the basic idea of what American really is. And these ideas that they were flying signs of everything, you really wonder where in the heck did all these ideas and principles came from? I don't know. They didn't act, and they didn't, what they were asking was really not what I would call America. Maybe somewhere else perhaps, but not here. Not here. But they brought food with them, which was nice. It's like a tailgate party, I suppose to speak. And I've seen people at tailgate before and during football games and whatnot. But they seem to be more, say, organized as a group of people. And it was basically nice. Those were nice gatherings of people. But this group of people, again, it's a question because of what I read on some of the signs. I'm not sure. What I heard happened was that it was mandatory that they show up at the event. Now, that's definitely not an American way of working things. I command you to show up. Maybe in the military you have to have that, but that's a little bit different. But where in the heck does a leader duty end and the principles and liberties begin? I don't know on that with this particular group. Now, this food that they brought, I think it could have been an enticement for them to come. It may not. I hope it was done not in that principle, because that's not a very good way of offering. That's a bribery in a sense. And the food that they supplied, I've often wondered, Was it cleared by the White Houses as proper food and politically correct food for the entire group? Good question, but I don't know how that worked out. The entire event basically was a union rally, you know, for more, give me more, I want, and I want. That's definitely not an American principle either. We used unions many, many, many years ago. And what they did when they started out, which I think was a very, very good idea, was the fact that, my God, we had a time in history where people in the northern area, not the southern states, but in the northern state, we had sweatshops there. And a sweatshop was where you ran people up into those areas and you basically tied them to their machines or whatever. And we had young people working these things. They worked 10, 12 hours a day. Now, someone came up with an idea to try to organize it so that this wouldn't happen. And their only way of doing it was by a mass group of people. So that's where the union became who they were and what they became. Now, that was a good thing because, I mean, do we want 6- and 7-year-olds to work that long? I don't think so. I don't really think so. Not mandatory, at least. But the thing about this was that the rally was basically, I want more from the government. I want more from the business community. I'm going to force it upon them, or whatever I can do. And usually it's done by strikes. So you close down an industry. And in this case, if you're belonging to the teachers union, they always seem to go on strike. Guess where? Around Christmas time. And they do that purposely. Isn't that kind of neat? They get to go back on vacation again. And they usually get paid. Very good. Very good. So the teachers union were there also. And to me, that was a sad sight. That was really a sad sight for me. The display as I saw it was me and me and me again. I don't think anyone, did they ever say anything about what are you going to do when you get paid? Do you remember that most of the people there, not all, but there were a lot of public workers, okay, unions, public workers. Remember John F. Kennedy, I think, asks and said, not exactly not ask what you want from the government, but what you can give your country. Now, those are great words, really, in a sense. Can you do that for your country? All you public workers? When this group left the event, they left all the garbage right where they stood. Pigs all, I guess. I guess I can't blame them. I have to blame the teachers for most of this, because the teachers perhaps didn't teach them basic etiquette and common decency to pick up after themselves. So this entire group is definitely not American in my origin, whereas the prior group, they were the true Americans. So unions, you have to really get on them somewhere along here. You're falling off the waysides at a very rapid rate. That's all for now, and I'll talk to you again. I'm going to speak about how we're going to make our retirees part of this great group of Americans we have in our citizens and government. Thank you very much.